I don't know, maybe I shouldn't record. Oh, well, forget it. Okay, so anyway, she's doing a residency, and a guy came in with discharge, and it was funny because I was telling the story third period, and in that period, there was a group that did a paper on chlamydia and also a paper on gonorrhea. So they were like instantly like, oh yeah, was it chlamydia? Was it gonorrhea? It's like, no, no, no. Here's what happened. The guy couldn't describe it. It was a little painful to pee, but it was like this really stinky discharge. He had taken a live snake, put it in his urethra. It climbed up, like slithered up his urethra, went into his urinary bladder, died. Okay. And what was coming out was the dead tissue. They did an here's how they found it. They did an x-ray and they saw the skeleton of the snake in his urinary bladder. This is not an internet, like, cap, no cap. This came out of the mouth of the person that saw it. Okay. I don't know. They thought it would feel good. All right. Don't stick things in your pee hole, folks, no matter how exciting it sounds. Right? What's that? Well, I don't think it was a boa constrictor by any means. If it was, man, that guy's packing. So we all know that, of course, you're extreme, but you don't think about the fact that really your kidneys are all about that balance of all those ions. And when you're balancing, when you're pee, we're going to weigh your pee. Okay. Now we're not going to put it on a scale. We have this little thing called a urine prober, and it basically is like a fish bobber. You're going to put that in your pee, and you're going to tell how much stuff is in your pee. Like, so is it heavy? Is it not heavy? I need to write myself a note on my hand. A buddy of mine showed me like what your pee should look like in the different colors, but it was all different beers. And it's really cool. Like in my head, I was like, ooh, I'm using this in class. I'm going to write beer on my hand. Okay. We also do regulate some blood cell production. That's more hormones in your kidneys and some vitamin D. Most of vitamin D, of course, comes from the sun. All right. So our kidneys are in our back wall. Okay. So I just showed you this picture. And remember, I've removed a lot of other stuff here. The stomach's gone, the large intestine, the small intestine, and the perineum. Okay. But what do we got left? What's this organ right here? That's the liver. Here's a tricky one. It's not the stomach I said was removed. So what's this guy? Nope, not pancreas. Spleen. It's your spleen. Here's your kidneys. Here's your bladder. Okay. Now this giant tube forking off into your legs. This tube's going this way. What's this giant tube that's going into the kidney? You should know this. You definitely know the word. Think heart. Giant tube. Okay, it's got something to do with the heart.
Okay, so it's not an artery.
Yeah, it's an artery. Which one? Not pulmonary. That goes from the heart to the lungs. It's a really big one.
Does it start with an A?
Sure does. That's the aorta. This is the aorta, folks. Look how massive that thing is. Now, that's it. Your aorta. And, like Tracy knows, his is transected, right? But it was in his chest, right? Like a lot of people don't realize that your aorta is massive and it's going all the way to your kidneys. Okay. Now if this is the aorta, then what's this one? I'll give you a hint. It's going back to the heart. It's also massive. But it's not an artery, it's a vein. No, pulmonary just goes to the heart to lungs. You know it has 3 letters. Not that one. IVC, right? Because we're inferior. So this is the inferior vena cava. Okay, so the aorta is bringing blood to the kidneys just straight out of the heart, folks, right? Okay, your inferior vena cava on its way back to the heart. So all this blood right here has been in the legs, okay, the extremities, toes. Okay, it's coming back. The kidneys are going to filter that, also their stuff out, and send it back to the heart. Notice as it goes through the liver there too. Okay, pretty cool. Your urinary bladder, okay, it's pretty good size, right? It's in your pubic area. Okay, so your pubic bone, so it would be right where this kind of ends. Here's your iliac crest, right here, right here. So your kidneys are more in that lower thoracic area. Lumbar would be kind of like start to be right here. So T11, T12, that kind of area. Here's a CT scan. So there's little tiny cuts. What kind of cut is this? Not sagittal vaginal, but transverse, right? So here you can see that thoracic vertebra. Here we got some ribs. Here we've got like the iliocostalis, longissimus, remember those muscles in the back. Okay, this would be the anterior side of this person, some intestines, but here's the kidney. And everything's kind of highlighted here. And we'll get into the details of all that stuff. This is one of the first pictures I showed you where you start talking about how we're all chemical. Remember how I told you I was going to give you a case of Bud Light, and then we're going to drop some acid. Yeah. And then we talked about how we end up going from like chemicals to cells to tissues, then to organs and organ systems. Your kidneys are, and we can look at this picture too, are plastered into the back. So when you remove this stuff, it's not like your kidneys just kind of like fall down or fall out. Okay, there's lots of connective tissue. If you've ever field dressed a deer or any other animal, you're pulling out all this guts. Those kidneys are still kind of back there. You almost kind of have to dig them out of this tissue. Like they're kind of a surprise. You're like, what is this thing? Like if anybody's ever dissected anything before, like, whoa, that's not what I thought. Everybody knows a kidney looks like a kidney bean, but like you don't realize that they're kind of hidden. Okay, so there's that perineal fat that's around that, but also that loose fibrous connective tissue. So there's a capsule, that's the outer part of the kidney, and the hilum, which is where all the good stuff's going into the kidney. There's the liver again, kidneys. So your right kidney is still kind of there where your liver is. So if you think about like your liver being underneath this, right hypochondriac region, there's the aorta, there's the IVC, the inferior vena cava, iliac crest, ischium, head, neck, greater, lesser trochanter. There's the pubis. There's the urinary bladder. Okay, so if you really want to like, it's always funny because like when you think about like someone like pushing on your stomach, you don't think about making yourself pee, but like literally that you can pee if it's in that push on that region. All right, so there's these columns, but it's all about the pyramids. Think National Treasure, think Nick Cage, right? The Secrets in the Pyramids, Secret Society, all that kind of stuff. Anything to help you remember this sort of thing. And the pyramids don't look like pyramids here. You can somewhat see how it's more of a pyramid shape like this, okay? All of this is kind of tubular, but this is like what is happening? It doesn't really look like much is going on. Okay, I like this picture a little bit better because you can see a little more definition of those pyramid shapes divided by the columns, but this is where the functional unit happens. Okay, and that functional unit inside the kidney is called a nephron. Okay, we're going to talk later about what a nephron is, but the nephron is the coolest thing ever. The more I start to learn more about the nephron, and like we have millions of them, kidney, boom, 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 like all throughout those pyramids. I got you. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay, so that's where we're going to end up tomorrow, is talking about that functional unit, the nephron. Hey, you gonna talk to me or no?
Talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, peace out.
Okay, bye.
Take care of yourself. Bye. All right. Any questions about kidney stuff? At all? Everybody good? All right. Let's stop right there. That's a good stopping spot. Thanks for your attention today. Are you all just dead? Is everybody just dead at this point? Like inside your souls, are you dead?
Yes.
Oh man, yeah.
So when you like sneeze,
Yeah.
it makes you have to pee
Yeah.
muscles or like
That's a muscle thing. So didn't we all Kegel in here together? Right? So that's tightening those muscles. Yeah. And so some people, I'll never forget. Oh, and I got so excited one time. This girl, I'm gonna stop recording here.